Manchester United, they won 3-0 at the Hawthorns against West Brom yesterday, but trouble just doesn't go away for David Moyes, does it? He wakes up this morning to the stories in the papers about Robin van Persie in the People this morning, and also the Sunday Mirror saying he's the odd van out. On his way out of Manchester United, according to Steve Bates in the Sunday People this morning. Will Moyes sell him, Neil?
Well, you know, there is an argument that they are a quicker team, and certainly yesterday a better team when he wasn't in it. And I think his attitude and his body language has been wrong this season. His link-up play with Rooney's non-existent. You look at, I think Welbeck offers them an awful lot more pace up front. Certainly not the goal scoring. Obviously, you know, his goal statistics are still there, but you know, there's things earlier this season when, you know, the United physios, medical staff were saying he's fit, he's ready to play. And he just kept saying, no, I need some more time, I need some more time, I need some more time, something that irritated Moyes to the point he had to have a showdown meeting with him. And he's fast becoming a sort of a Kevin Peterson figure at United. And, you know, a guy who would sort of run through brick walls for Alex Ferguson is not doing it for David Moyes. You know, someone like Wayne Rooney is a great example of someone who'll get out on that pitch no matter what. You know, he go out on one leg, and Robin van Persie just isn't. And it's just not happening this season. And I think it could come to a point where he will sell him this season, at the end of this season. You
said a Kevin Peterson style or type character in the dressing room. Is he unpopular with the other players?
I meant more so in the fact that he obviously has the ability, but something's wrong there. I wouldn't say he's totally unpopular. I do think he has put a few noses out of joint in terms of not getting back to play as quickly as he could, going back to Holland when he has the opportunities in what is a difficult season where he's sort of almost abdicating responsibility for it, and it's a shame after last season, because he was the difference, he was the reason they won the title. Had he signed for City or anybody else, they would have won the title, and he had a fantastic season. But it's like the toys have gone out the pram since Alex Ferguson went. There's been problems with the training, because the training used to be tailored to him, and it's not anymore. And there was another issue at the start of the season when David Moyes, rightly you could say, came in and said, everyone starts with me with a clean slate, and you have to prove yourself to me. And he didn't like that either. He thought he was sort of above that. And then, of course, you had the indulgence of Wayne Rooney over the summer to keep him at the club, which Moyes did superbly well, and rightly, and kept him there. And I think he looked at that as well and thought, well, I was the hero last season. He wasn't playing well, and you know, they're going head over heels to keep him. So there are things wrong, and you could see him going, definitely.
I think if Moyes, I mean, a manager in a stronger, more confident position would have hooked him at half-time against Olympiacos. I mean, he was that, when a player is so obviously just not doing the work, not doing any movement, you know, you're up against it away from home, Champions League, huge game.
And a match of that importance as well.
And it was a downing of tools. And to say, I think if Moyes was in a stronger position and not, you know, having to be very careful about who he upsets in his own dressing room, he would have just said, look, if you're not even going to bother, then what's the point?
But you see, you know,
was it very
Alex Ferguson did
after
this
the game, Neil, because it was after that game, he said, players are invading my space, didn't he? He said they're operating in my territory. It was after that game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that was
it a deliberate? Was that Van Persie's very deliberate public message to Moyes and Manchester United's players?
I think he was trying to get himself off the hook for what was an appalling performance by the team and by him. He should be the talisman figure. He should be the one getting everyone going, be at the centre of everything, the centre of all the moves and everything. And he's a player with his head down. And I think that interview afterwards, which the club have tried to say that he was mortified how it was portrayed. Well, I think he knew what he was doing. You know,
he can save. I mean, he can help to save David Moyes. I mean, he's going to some massive games coming up: Liverpool, Olympiacos, City. I mean, these have the potential you could say, to break Moyes. And the fact is that, you know, he needs the team fully committed. And Van Persie, a player of his class, clearly, you know, a few goals, you know, in these games can make all the difference. And that's why he needs to be able to look at him. You need to, you know, in the size of the games coming up, David Moyes needs to be able to look around that dressing room and trust the team he's sending out. And that's the as you say, yet another challenge for David Moyes.
Well, the previous manager made very big decisions on players, Ruud van Nistelrooy being a classic example, one of the greatest strikers ever to be at Old Trafford. And he went. He got rid of him because he could see that something had gone wrong with his attitude, which he'd had that season, and his form, and he went. And while somebody like Welbeck will not supply you the goals, his actual link-up play with Rooney is a lot better than Van Persie's.
But I think the issue here is Robin van Persie going to want to leave to go to Italy, and he had that chance 18 months ago, and he definitely didn't want to do that. So if he's not going to get another, you've got to see what the other clubs now, maybe Barcelona are looking for a centre forward, but you'd think it's unlikely they'd go for one on that salary at that age. No. You know, so if there aren't the clubs out there, I don't think Robin van Persie is going to walk away from Manchester United, because the stature of the club, he will feel that I've only been here for 1.5 years. I've got to prove myself here. I can win, you know, maybe I can win trophies here. So I think this is the issue for Moyes is, how do you deal with this? Because this could be an ongoing problem. There's no guarantee that Moyes can just think, well, actually, I'll be better off with someone different next season. And that may well be the case. But the fact is, they've got a relatively old striker on a very, very big contract with 2 more years left on that contract, and they've got to manage that situation.